driving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
It's weird. You don't notice it, but there's about 2-3 seconds at the end of that song that I need to cut off, and I've been meaning to do it for years. It'll actually make everything a lot easier. So, all right, this is for trudging together only. I'm not even going to put it in my grassroots because I feel like I post there a little too much. And I've got to set the right example. Should we go with the news here? How about default? Nah, let's go with rounded. It's supposed to be, I like that. Let me switch it. We go red. So you get to, I go live and stuff. Hi. Let's go with black. You're home, yay. Yeah, it is 4:37. I didn't know you had to work today. With the stuff going on, I just presume people are at work. So, nah. Did it? That was a long ass day and it flew by. That's an alcoholic for you. I just screwing around to that 3-minute mark. You know how I am, but it's probably just gonna be you, me, and Ingrid because I didn't put it in the grassroots either. I don't know, and that's going really, really well, but we got to be careful. I don't want it to be a huge meeting. No. In fact, I think we should, if it gets that way, we need to talk about breakout rooms because there should only be a certain 80, 100, 200 people in a fucking room. No. People will get lost. We won't be able to fulfill needs. The parking lot meeting will just be woo, or maybe you had to. Oh no, but we're gonna have to look at that and organize it, because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I didn't start the meeting for people not to show up. All right, let's get to a trudging together update. We can start there. The meetings are going great. Welcome to Daily Trudge. Actually, welcome. What I want equals my will. There you go. See? Yeah. Oh, that's exactly right. Even the talk I just had, it wasn't about Dion. Nope. Please say hello. If God's will is for it to be a big meeting, then so be it. I agree. But if we leave it up to God and we're going to do it that way, then we are not going to be listed. I feel like we need to pick one. Now, what I'm saying is this. It's going to be a big meeting. I already know that. Which makes it even more important that we watch how we're doing it now, right? Like we got to start the timer now. Because otherwise, we won't be used to it. And then one day we'll turn around, there'll be 40 people in the fucking meeting and we'll be all over. And that's kind of what I go to a word of mouth people that typically has 300 to 400 people. Awesome. People cannot talk unless they have been there 2 or more meetings. And who's keeping track of the 400 people? Because I ain't. Sounds overwhelming and unsimple to me. But I haven't been through it. So that's why. Okay, I'll check it out. Because you know me, I don't mind being wrong. That's fine. I just want it done the right way. That's it. All right, let's talk about what's going on. You already kind of really know about the grassroots. I mean, if you're a part of it, and everybody that listens to me is kind of a part of it, it's a good group. The main and this is why I talk about that, because some of the people that I've invited don't want to be in big groups. They don't want to be. I don't want to lose them. So, but God's will, right? So even the Tuesday meeting, I did it for one person. I did it for one particular person, but I knew other people would show up. Yeah. It was just one person. So, yeah, okay, cool. Send it to me. And because right now what I'm doing is going to good meetings and stealing their shit. Yeah. So, yeah, send it. I'll go. You bet. I clearly can't speak. I'll just say I've been here 5 times. All right, let's move on to the next thing. What is Trudging Together really doing? Because I don't fucking know. I don't know. We're now it's legislation. So I want to talk about the talk I had with Jose. His name's Jose. He's the executive director of the Colorado Consortium for Prescription Drugs. Whew! He's a really cool dude. I even said I was gonna tout him out. Yeah, good dude. Eyes were shining. I know he's in the program somewhere. He can't talk on that. He's working. You can't. You know, I even said, hey, you got X Factor, I got God. But between two of us, we can get this shit done, man. And you know, I had written out some things and I never even needed to use them because he did them. And that tells me where he's at. He told me a lot about his background. We qualified each other, made sure that we weren't just wasting our time. One of the things that he wants help with is legislation for raising the taxes on alcohol, because the taxes haven't been raised since 1970. And then we're going to take that tax money and we're going to open treatment centers with CBT. That's exactly what we want. It's exactly what we want. We knew a lot of the same people like Joe Wright, who started Arapahoe House. We had a lot of connections. Okay. I made him aware of the Medicaid fraud. I said, did you know about the Medicaid fraud for the $85,000 chargeback on this person? And he's like, no, but I'm going to look into it. And just like I told my wife, in about 2 weeks, the shit talk will start. Ooh, yeah, the shit talk's going to start. Just ignore it. You probably won't even hear it. I probably won't even hear it. They're not going to come to me. And she said, God, they give you a lot of power. I'm like, yeah, I don't want it. I want it. You can call me whenever you want. Doesn't matter. We're going to make some changes. We're looking at putting up PSA, public service announcements. We talked about young people. So he did prevention also. And I've done a lot of prevention. He's worked in, I've worked in jails with youth. I've worked in treatment with youth. I've run prevention. And he's about my age, maybe a little bit older. I don't know. And I said, but the thing is you and I can't do prevention. They're not going to listen to us. Prevention's for the young people, 25 and under, man. You know, and we discussed Alateen and how Alateen saved my life and things like that. He also cleared up a lot of things, right? The multi-pathway. Let's talk about it, okay? Now, in the industry, we call it multi-pathway. And this is what everybody is saying. There are multiple pathways to recovery. Well, AA is not the only way. There's multiple pathways to recovery. What does that tell you? It tells you that there's all these different programs, right? And I'll say first off, AA is not the only way. But that is not it. And I got the right answer. Multi-pathway means that you end up at one of these meetings like Celebrate, Smart, AA, NA, Wellbriety. Maybe you go to through a doctor, a lawyer, people of trust, a teacher, a nurse, and they end up there through these multiple pathways. That I agree with. That, absolutely. So instead of saying multiple pathways, why don't we just say we meet people where they're at and help? Because it means the same thing. Multiple pathways has made it confusing. This was done intentionally, or AAA. Hello, AAA. Yeah, have you seen that one? I just called to tell you I was drunk and put my car in the. I talked to him about it was called the West Side Drug Free Youth Team. Okay. And we were a prevention team, and we were a bunch of young people who created this play. And what there was a man, his name was Pat Vigil, and he was about my age that I am now. And he put this together. Okay. He did not write the script. Sometimes he would be in the play if we needed somebody to take over. Okay. But it was created by young people for young people. And then you take that play, okay, and it can be determined by the person that knows the leader, like Patrick was, so that makes sure it gets all the right information. Then they go to a school, they go to a middle school, they put on the play, okay, which would be 20, 30 minutes, and then you open it up for questions and answers. That is the most unevasive way to start with prevention. Yeah, it is. Because by the time you're 25, 30, you're already doing stuff. Prevention's over with, right? Well, kind of, maybe not. Maybe not. I think I'm wrong on that, actually. Okay. But I do know this, but because I couldn't stay away from alcohol, but because I was an Alateen, because of these other things, I knew that I might have had an addictive personality. And that if I start doing those things, that life would be even worse. So I stayed away from them, and it saved my life. Well, if it saved mine, then why wouldn't it save other people's? So really what I did with him is I compared what it was like in the 90s, and he was there, to what it's like now. All right, we talked about detoxes. So let's talk about the detox next. It's coming. There are some people that think it's going to be a certain way, but it is not. Okay. I'm going to give you a little backstory. And of course, he's not going to write back. I'm going to give you a little backstory. I used to work at Washington House back in the 90s, and it was fan-fucking-tastic. Everybody that worked there was in recovery. We had a great time. We got people fucking sober. Best job I ever fucking had. Right? Yeah. It was very satisfying. I'd leave there going, man, we helped a bunch of people today. I love this job. I went to work at East Metro Detox after they begged and begged and begged me. Now, I had gotten a hold of Malcolm Jobe, and yeah, I'm going to say his name because he's not in the program, and this is not an AA one. This is an update. Okay? Now, I first contacted him because I was saying, you need peer support. He's like, we got peer support. And I'm like, no, you don't. You got people that they're not in meetings and everything else. And what I want you to do is I want you to stop hiring. What I want you to do is stop hiring people with bachelor's degrees and go back to a success rate and be accountable. And he agreed with me on this. Dion, would you mind coming working for us? And I said, you know what? With my PTSD, I would find it very, very, very hard to work there. And they kept asking and asking. I told him the other thing is this. My fear is I'm going to work for you, and it's going to ruin our relationship. And it did exactly that. Okay. I worked there for 3 months. One of the worst jobs I've ever had. I helped no one. I wasn't allowed to. I bring up it's not the only way. There's multiple pathways. But you don't know what multiple pathway is because I didn't know at the time either. Oh, so let's stop saying it. Let's stop saying it because it's confusing people. This just proves my point. Misinformation in recovery has the power to fucking kill. And if you're doing that, you are responsible in my book and in God's. It's the way I feel about it, not fact. Right? Well, now we're putting a new detox in Adams County, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I was avoided and avoided. And I'm the person that got them to say, okay, we're going to put $2.2 million towards this. That was me, by the way. It's just Amber here, so I don't mind. I'm brag a little bit. Because she knows me better. She knows my true intentions. And I don't want credit, but I do want you to be aware of it. Yeah, they were going to wait 3 more years. I'm like, no, no, fuck no. That's what I said. I said, fuck no. Right? Well, people want what they want. They want what they want. So now I'm going to meet with the executive director of Adams County Behavioral Health. This person makes decisions. Okay. And it's not a meeting. Her assistant called me and said she wants to take you out to coffee. That's exactly what I want to hear. It's exactly what I want to hear. Okay, we're going to talk about, but really what I have, if we're going to call it anything, is a list of demands. And if it is not followed this way, okay, and this is how I'm going to start it. I'm going to start it with the definition of insanity. Because doesn't that fit us? Okay, so if that detox over there isn't working, and I've proven it, and now I'm proving it to you because I worked there, I saw it, I participated, and you're going to give us more of that? So you're going to do the same thing expecting a different result. We call that insanity. Here's a good question, because I found out that if you want to run an Alateen meeting, you have to do a background check. And I brought this up to Jose too. Like, you need to have a background check now. And it isn't your regular background check. And he worked jails and stuff, so he understood this. I said, do you remember when somebody was getting ready to leave in that last 24 hours and they had to do that background check and they sat there and they sweat for 24 hours in case you found anything? They're making shit up. That's the background check. It's like, oh, right? Then why aren't recovery coaches needing a background check? Then why are recovery coaches not required to have a background check? A full background check. Why? See? No, not acceptable. You want to know so drug testing, my number one thing. All employees will be drug tested. Oh, I smoke weed. So? Just because there's something in your piss, what if there's alcohol in it? Well, what if that person's not an alcoholic? So what? Okay? No, that's not what we're looking for. No. Shrooms? Yeah. No. Those are long-lasting hallucinogens. All right. What's another thing? Sugar. Not sugar, but honey. Honey must be available. Some kind of sugar substitute. There's got to be a 12-step meeting or smart recovery or celebrate recovery or something every day. At least half of the employees need to be recovered with education. Hey, Jack, you've never gotten in my lap. You really want love. I want love. He's not used to me fucking with him yet. Let's find out how. Oh, poor guy. All right. And this is progress for us. And I'll tell you why it's working. Because we fell to 50th. Okay. Because there's pain. Okay. And what I did is I took that pain and I poked my little fucking finger in it. And I talked to Jose about this too, because he's like, we're trying to make change, but you know how it goes. Yeah, we had to talk politics. I'm not going to bring that up here. Okay. He's like, you know how that goes. And I said, all right, well, Jose, we all know that pain is a touchstone of all change. So I'm going to give it to you. In the 90s, 1 in every 10 people was affected by drugs and alcohol. Now, everybody. And there's your pain. Use that pain Use it. More than anything, what we now have is an ally in the right position. The only person that can really tell him what to do is the Attorney General. And we talked about him too. And he couldn't say it. He can't say that stuff out loud. But what he did say is, because he worked at the Attorney General's office when Kaufman was in there, and she was awesome. Kaufman was awesome. He's like, and Weiss came in there, and yeah, I worked there for about 3 months. That was his answer. What does that mean? He didn't like what he saw, so he left. Because this isn't a guy that takes a job and then leaves it. Okay, he's been doing this for a long time, since the early 70s. Huh. All right. So the detox is going to be for us. It's for the community. It isn't for Aurora Mental Health. Fuck them. Fuck them. Heck, I set it up to where they could have raised a shit ton of money. They turned it down. Right? They don't want a success rate. Well, I'm sorry, the one in Adams County has got to be a success rate, or take that fucking money back. Give me the money. They're like, we're looking for a location. That was 5 months ago. They told me it was going to be open by August. We're in October. We're in October now. Yeah. You know, halfway house. We're putting up a halfway house. It's still happening. Now, it's been put on pause until I have this detox meeting. That's what I've been waiting on. That's what I've been waiting on. Okay. I'm also working on a treatment center. I've been talking about this much because I haven't gotten enough to really say much on it. Everything that I am talking about right now, it is all connected. It is all connected. It is everything that we need as recovered alcoholics or people dealing with alcoholism or addiction need in order to find a sustainable life. We are about reintegration. Now, that reintegration may take you a few months if you're a little younger. It may take you a year if you're a little bit older. We meet people where they are at, and then we help them. That's it. All right. I know it doesn't sound like much, but if I went into all those things individually, we would be here for hours. See, there's like, and if and I'm trying to give it a good number, I'd say there's like 10 moving parts, and none of them are aware of each other, and I need to make them aware of each other. There's a lot of things I do people in AA wouldn't understand unless you were a drug and alcohol counselor and know the DSM. You may not understand what I'm saying. Oh, I also told him we hate alcohol use disorder, that we prefer alcoholics, and he just smiled like that. I'm like, I know we need to get paid, so put it in the DAT note. See, you have no idea what I just said, but it's an inside joke. Right? If you want to get paid, you have to do what's called a DAT note. Data, assess, treatment. Okay? And if you don't write your DAT note correctly, and if you say alcoholism and not AUD, the insurance will not pay you. No, they won't. Oh, we don't do alcoholism. We do AUD. If you don't, that's how literal it is. It's bullshit. But that's all about risk and money. Money. There's really not much more. I mean, there is, but like I said, I would just probably sit here. I don't know that I would necessarily confuse people, but I can tell you this: everything that I've done, from installing phone switches to being a salesperson and understanding contracts, to being a drug and alcohol counselor, living on the streets, to everything in my life has led me to this. And I use almost every skill I have learned in life to get this done. Yeah. There are some times when I don't even realize how much I'm actually doing. Because for me, I'm just doing what's right in front of me, right? I'm just doing what's right in front of me. So um, I'm really glad he cleared that multi-pathway thing up for me. It was like a relief, okay? And now I can go back to some people and say, I understood what you meant now. And they'll be like, okay, fuck, finally. And they'll say, why didn't you explain it to me that way? That why did you continue arguing with me? And I'll tell you why. Because they're lying one way or another, because they didn't know either. Be careful. Anyway, all right. And there's a lot of people that support what we do that aren't even that are not in our program. Pastor Marcia. Yeah. In fact, I think one day what I'm going to do is invite all of you, like the people from our grassroots and stuff, to have a meeting with Pastor Marcia. She loves what we do, right? She does. I called her right after that meeting, and this is what she said to me. She said, Dion, do you feel like you've changed in the last 6 months? I told her, well, I had a 2x4 effect last week. Yeah, I'm not the same person I was a week ago. Neither are you. We're alcoholics. We gotta change. But it was happened fast. Last week, last Friday. Oh, I'll tell you a new one. Just go ask the new I went to. I've asked God, I've asked people, and I do not own amends. I ain't call anybody names. I didn't do any of that, but I'll confront. And that's the thing about me. Right? I will confront you. I confront everybody. So we're just looking for the right answer, are we not? Because if not, if you're not looking for the right answer, and that's okay with me, but I'm not going to hang out with you. I'm going to go find somebody that wants the right answer also. That's going to support me in those things. Okay. But I had to muddle through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fucking people. And when I say muddle, yeah, people that don't understand or don't want to understand. How do you go to AA and say, hey, we're being weak? How do you do that? You got to be a good example. So when I ended that meeting with Jose, I said, here's what we want to do. Because you guys know me, I have my squirrel things. And there was a couple times when I'm like, oh, those people, and I let something slip out. But I told him about my PTSD. I told him about it, and he understood. And I said, there are some times where I will get a little cray-cray, but I will make it right if I need to. Okay. And I said, there'll be some people, and they tell me that, Dion, we love your passion. That means I'm being crazy. I know that. You smile at that too. I mean, what's it going to say? And I let them know, if you need us, we're here. We're here. We will help you to our dying day. So yes, there may be a time coming up. I don't know. But he said, yeah, I would love it when we go to legislation if you meet somebody that stands up and talks with us. And I said, well, if you want more people, you let me know. I will go get them. And if you want to help us make a difference that way, great. If you're like, no, I'd rather not do it that way. I want to kind of be more behind the scenes. Great. We can do that too. You don't understand that I've got every single piece of service work available to me. And it doesn't matter what the service is. It doesn't. And I don't know why God's doing all this. I don't know. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm like, God, why? But you know what happens when we're asking why? We're just arguing with God. Ugh. Again. So it's just me and Amber here, so I can say this. I can see it clearly. I usually know what's going to happen. I don't know that I'm psychic, or is it that people are lemmings? I knew that the recovery coaches, I knew all this would fail. I knew all of it would fail. That doesn't make me psychic, but it does make me educated. Not bad for a GED, huh? People don't even ask my education. They will say, "Where'd you go to college?" Skid Row? College? Oh, fuck, college. I did go to Barnes Business College for a little bit. I went to go and become uh, doing taxes and shit. I don't know why I fucking picked that. I hate math, and I aced all of my classes but math. Turns out I had dyslexia. I didn't find out till I was like 23, so I quit school. Yeah. Wouldn't be a very good accountant. Hey, you got millions of dollars. No, you don't. Peon did the math. I use a calculator and my fingers all the time. You probably saw me here January, February, March, April. Okay, the fourth month. So, um, there are things going on, but I can't bring them to mind. And I think what it is just that I'm kind of overstimulated. Just kinda. I'm not overly stimulated, but there is this level of serenity that's happening that I just hope other people experience it too. Um, yeah. I mean, I've been crying in meetings. The last two meetings I've been in, I've cried. And it's just because I was so fucking happy. You know, sometimes you don't realize, just like in the beginning of the program, when you're making progress and you don't see it because you live with yourself. Well, I don't see it either. And sometimes other people will say something about what I'm doing. I'm like, holy shit, that didn't occur to me. I didn't know I was doing that. But and it happens often. I don't want to give a time on it, but I'll go to a meeting and somebody will say, "Yeah, when I got sober, I was so scared to go anywhere, but I listened to your podcast and your lives, and it gave me enough to go to fucking meetings." And I didn't know. I didn't know. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up because from here, I think I'll just be bragging, and I don't want to do that. That is for my wife and therapist only. And I don't have a therapist at the moment. So it's for my wife only because I don't want people to think that I don't have humility. It's okay to brag, just find the right arena. But there's nothing wrong with giving yourself kudos and shit like that. It's not. I think, and this will be the last thing, I promise. I think more than anything, over the last 4 years, I don't know how many times I've been called fucking crazy and gaslit, more than any time in my life. To come out the other end and have people go, fuck, Dion, you were right. I'm feeling this justification, not like an anger justifying my anger, but I feel justified that I was right. Instead, other people were trying to make me think I was crazy. I'm like, no, this isn't crazy. I know crazy. I know crazy. Just go ask the other Dion. So, and it's a relief. It's a relief that people are now like, yeah, that was wrong. But now, since I did that, we have clout and we can actually get something done. See, I got to be proactive. If I'm not proactive, I'm reactive. And no, then I'm going to just spend my day making amends. That's not going to do any good. Okay. But if you think I could do this alone, no way. I come to you guys for advice all the fucking time, all the time. Right? That meeting went well because I came on earlier and people were like, okay, Dion, try this, remember that. And because I went in with that attitude, it worked perfectly. Wow. And I prayed my ass off too. I said every prayer in the big book. I love you. Thanks for listening, Amber. I appreciate it. And hanging out. I appreciate it. Yeah. I know everybody is very, very busy. And the fact that you'll even stop and spend 35 minutes with me, I think is just fucking cool. You know, that's why I do this, because you can put your phone down and still listen to me and do what it is that you do. We do that on Zoom all the time. You know, put me on in the car on a road trip. I don't know what it is, but my voice seems to bring calm and hope to people. And thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. I don't know whether I'm going to decompress or go to a 5:30. I don't know. I do know that I've accomplished what I needed to accomplish today, though. So, and I've been to a meeting. I love you. Mostly Amber, though, because she's here. This is how I'll work it. If you're the only person here, then you're the person I love it the most at the current moment, aside from my wife. All right. And don't forget to send that to me, Amber, because I'm curious. I'm going to tell you, I want to be wrong on this. I do. Because having 200 people in there and everybody doing good, fuck yeah. So I want to be wrong on that. So please prove me wrong. And if somebody's doing it, they're doing it right, then we're just going to copy them. The one thing I do like about Happy Trudgers is how organized and how you guys gave it to me. Loved it. I thought that was great. And I'm stealing it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you.